Hi, I'm Adam with Endura Products, and today we're going to take you through the cut down of our flip lever Astragal. The Astragal, when you receive it, is going to come as shown, and the first step here is going to be to remove the trim. We'll start by removing the top and the included screw pack. We'll then come down and remove the bottom, and there's also an extra piece of trim that's shipped with your Astragal, and we'll set that off to the side. The next step is to measure your door panel, so that way we know what length we need to cut this Astragal to. When we're measuring the Astragal to cut to length, we always want to measure on the tail side of the Astragal. This is the side that it's opposite of the weather strip. Once you've measured your door panel, it's time to make a mark on the Astragal body using your tape measure and a pencil. In our case, this door panel is 79 3/16 inches. So, using the tape measure and a pencil, we're going to make a mark on the Astragal body for the length of this Astragal. Once you've made the mark on the Astragal body for where you're going to cut, it's time to disassemble the Astragal. We're going to start by removing the orange pin, which secures this top sleeve in place. You're going to take that top sleeve and slide it out of the Astragal body. You're then going to remove this bolt retainer, which is held in using a screw and a T-nut. On the back, you'll see the T-nut. So using a drill or a screwdriver, we're going to remove this retainer, taking care not to lose that T-nut. Once we've removed that retainer, we can rotate this bolt out of the Astragal body. We then need to remove the top trim cap. Doing so, grab and pull firmly, and now we're ready to go cut the Astragal body. After you've cut the Astragal to length, there's still one more cut that needs to be made, and that's for the top trim cap that we previously removed. So on the head of the Astragal, the side that has the weather strip, we're going to measure down from the top 9/16 of an inch and make a mark. Now that we've made the notch at the top of the Astragal body for the trim cap, it's time for reassembly of the Astragal. Now, for every cut you make on this Astragal, you're going to round up to the nearest inch, and that number is going to be how many spots we remove on this J-bar for our upper bolt. In our case, we removed just over 3/4 of an inch, so we're going to round up to 1, and that's how many spots we're going to move on this J-bar. So we started at the end, we're now going to move to the second one down. Now with our bolt in place, we can put on the top bolt sleeve, sliding it in from the end. Starting with that bolt sleeve flush to the end of the Astragal, we're then going to install the orange pin. Now that the orange pin is installed, we can now reinstall our bolt retaining clip. Using the screw and T-nut that was removed, we'll fasten down this bolt retaining clip to secure that bolt in place. Lastly, we'll want to reinstall the top trim cap to the head of the Astragal body. That completes reassembly of the Astragal. Now that we have the Astragal cut to length and ready to install, it's time to go to our door unit. For this application, we're doing an outswing. However, for this demo, we have it installed facing the interior of the home, mainly for our display booth. We'll first have to start by removing the 3 hinge pins to remove the door from the door unit. With the door panel removed from the hinges, we can start installing the Astragal. Step 1 is going to be to remove the blue backing from the adhesive on the back side of the Astragal. Now that we have the blue backing removed from the adhesive tape, you can now install the Astragal on the panel, flushing the top of the Astragal with the top of the panel. Pressing down firmly along the entire length of the Astragal will help hold that Astragal in place while we put our finishing screws in. Using one of the 1 5/8" screws included, put it to the hole adjacent to the orange pin and fasten the screw, taking care not to over tight. Remove the orange pin and discard, and replace with an 1 5/8" screw. Using a 1-inch screw, place in the bolt retaining clip and fasten to the panel. We'll also be placing a screw at the hole just below the center punch where the strike retainers are, and a screw at the top and bottom of the flip lever gear assembly. To install the remaining 2 screws, we'll first need to remove this screw from the lower bolt sleeve. And place it to the side without losing it. Next, you'll take that lower bolt sleeve and slide it off the end of the astragal, again setting it to the side. Using the last 2 screws, placing them in the last 2 holes on either side of the bolt pin closest to the end of the astragal. With the last 2 screws installed, we can reinstall the bottom bolt sleeve. And then reinstall the bottom bolt sleeve retaining screw. This concludes installation of all the screws for the astragal body. We can now return the door back to the door hinges. With the door panel back on the hinges, it's now time to set our strike and deadbolt locations. We'll start by closing the 2 panels. With the 2 door panels closed, using a pencil, we'll make a mark at the center line of our strike and the center line of our deadbolt, and then transfer that line to the astragal body. Using the marks we place on the astragal body, we'll slide the strike retainer down so that it's centered over that mark. Then, using a Phillips screwdriver or drill, we'll tighten down the screws for the strike plate. Following that same procedure, we'll set the location of the deadbolt. Now that we have our strike and deadbolt locations set, we're going to measure from the top of the deadbolt plate to the top of the astragal body for the length of our top trim strip. Once you've got the measurement for the length of that top trim strip, you're then going to cut the long piece of trim that was provided with the astragal to the necessary length. With the top trim strip cut to length, we can now install it in the astragal body. The fin on the trim is going to go on the same side as the weather strip on the astragal body. Pressing the trim along the length of the body until it's all the way on the astragal. For the bottom trim strip, this portion was already cut to length for you when you ordered the astragal. We're going to install it the same way we did the top trim strip, with the fin on the same side as the weather strip. And the final steps for installing the trim on this astragal, we'll need to measure the opening between the flip lever assembly and the strike plate, and then cut a piece of astragal trim to fit that opening. With the last piece of trim strip cut to length, you can install it in the astragal body. And that concludes the installation of a flip lever astragal. For more information about this flip lever astragal and more products by Endura, please visit our website at enduraproducts.com.